Hey everyone, it's Melody back with another layout from my Felicity Jane January kit. This is actually the Susie kit, and here's what I have left. I don't have a ton. I actually have a lot of little strips and scraps now. I keep everything, even like the parts that are messed up in these tiny little strips here. But until I'm actually done with the kit, I don't know what I'll need, so I might need a little tiny strip of something at the end. So I keep everything until the end, and then I determine what I'm going to keep in my stash and what I'm going to toss. Like, I won't end up keeping this, but anyways, that's not the point of this video. So this is what I have left of this kit. I have a lot of different things, and what I do have is primarily feminine, you could say. So, like, I have this flower flare. I have this pink and white striped bag. I have like floral cards. This one's not girly, but the back side is. It's pink. This is pink. I have, of course, I have a lot of black and white elements left, but most of what I have, I mean, even like this is a bow. That's not masculine at all. And then the papers I have left are this pink, pale pink and white paper, this floral stripe on the back. I've got this polka dot one, which does not necessarily have to be feminine, but it does have a lot of pink. This is a black and white stripe, and then I have this hot pink cardstock. So what today's focus is going to be in my video is taking what is seemingly a very feminine kit, or a feminine set of products, and using it for a masculine layout. So today's photos are actually two photos of Calen during basketball practice earlier last year. He was on a basketball team at the YMCA, and so I have some pictures of practice. Now, first off, you don't really think, okay, well, this is going to work with some pink and some pale pink and some bright pink embellishments, but I'm going to make it work, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. Now, I'm going to add a few things. First, I'm going to add a few alphas just to be able to mix it up with that one, but I'm also going to add a bit of washi tape. And I may add a color other than this one, but I am going to start with this black and white one, which does obviously match the kit. But I'm also going to bring in a second stamp set, and this stamp set is actually a basketball stamp set from Hampton Art, and it has a lot of basketball themed things, like free throw, basketball, dribble, shoot, score, basketball rocks, so on and so forth. A picture of the court, or a stamp of the court. So those are kind of the things I'm going to add. I'm going to add just these two things plus some alpha stickers, I believe. I may end up adding something else to the kit if it ends up not looking complete, if the layout doesn't look complete. But for right now, I'm just going to take these two things to add here and really take this pretty much feminine kit and make it work for some masculine photos. Now before I get started, I just want to remind you of the 10% discount that Felicity Jane is offering. Their January kits are now sold out, so this will apply only to the February kit. You get a 10% discount on your first month's purchase, whether it's just a one-time purchase or a subscription that you sign up for. The first month you'll have a 10% discount either way. The code is just Melody in all capitals, and then the dates of the coupon code are February 1st to the end of the month, or until the kit's sold out, whichever's first. So, alright, that's it. Let's go ahead and get started.
Okay, first things first, I've got to clear off some space. I have all these little tiny bits and pieces, and I plan to use as much of it as I possibly can. I'm not sure how much more I'm going to be able to get out of this kit. I'm starting to run out of papers, primarily papers. Embellishments, yes, but more so papers. I can always make embellishments out of papers, but if I'm out of papers, I really can't do a whole lot. So I think I'm going to at least be able to get 5 total layouts. This is the 4th one, but we'll see. So first thing I did is cut off my border strip, of course, and like I had mentioned at the beginning, the back of this paper is a black and white stripe with this giant floral on it, which is not at all masculine. It's not basketball themed at all. So I'm actually using the B side here, which is this diamond pattern, and it's a pink, it's a very pale pink diamond pattern, and each little diamond has a little dot in the middle, and then it's just a white background. It's kind of washed out looking on the camera because of the lighting, but you'll be able to see more of those little diamond patterns. They're very faint, but you'll be able to see it more so at the end in the close-up shots. So I'm just kind of going through my scraps here, trying to create some sort of layer type of thing that's going to go behind my photos. So I just kind of wanted a bit of a, I guess you could say, a shelf for my photos to sit on. And I just used a couple of those little bits and pieces that I had trimmed off of papers, and I'm using those as layers. And I just use washi tape to kind of tape them together behind where the photo is so that you can't see it. Now the first thing I'm going to do to my actual background is stamp this basketball definition at the bottom. I'm glad I checked it before I actually stamped it, because I had written it, or I had put it on my block upside down. And this just kind of creates a bit of a border at the bottom of the layout, and it just says basketball, and it has, like noun and the pronunciation of how you say it. It says a game of throwing a ball through a horizontal hoop. And I stamped it twice at the bottom. I really enjoy stamping on my backgrounds. I don't do it very often because I kind of forget. I get so involved in playing with the papers that I just don't think about it a whole lot. So I really like it when I remember to pull out a stamp set and just try a couple different things. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning when I was showing you this stamp set, I really like this basketball court stamp, and I'm going to use that kind of as the basis for 3 major embellishment clusters. This also adds to the layout and brings a few more masculine elements in here without really having to do a whole lot. I didn't really want to add any extra color per se, because I like the colors, the teals, the pale pink, the black and white. And so just the black and white stamping really added just a very simple thing to the background, the same exact colors that were already there. I just didn't want to introduce anything new as far as colors. And the same thing with this washi tape. I'm not introducing any new colors with the washi tape. It's still the same black and white colors. Now this washi tape I think is a little bit old, so it's really having a difficult time coming off the roll. I keep not shredding it, but like the edges keep coming off. It doesn't come off in one nice strip. I keep pulling pieces off the edge. So I'm just using those. Those are also going to go in 3 different spaces right along with my basketball court stamp. Washi tape is a really easy way to add something to your layout. It's not heavy. It's not, usually it's not real bold, because a lot of times it's a bit transparent. Now I was just debating on whether to add some of this pink card. I felt like the black and white was just blending in a little bit too much to the back, so I'm going to add a few more pink embellishments just to kind of highlight the fact that the background has a bit of pink in it. Now, you may all be thinking, oh my gosh, pink is not pink is not masculine. Well, yeah, it's not, but I already have pale pink in the background, and I really don't mind mixing things as long as the overall effect is clear and I'm happy with the overall effect, then I'm fine with mixing things here and there. Just cutting out, I have one of these little gray arrows left, and so I'm going to cut it out and add it to this layout. I've used it on a lot of different layouts that I've made with this kit, and I think I only had one left, so I wanted to make sure that I used it up. I didn't want to get rid of it. Now I had this string that I, for a very, very, very slight moment, thought about running across the bottom, but it just looked out of place to me. All right, so I'm going to move all my little paper strips off to the side, and now I'm going to pull out all my stickers and see what I can do. The stickers are really an easy way to add things to the background without adding a ton of weight. I don't really mind it if my layouts are heavy. I don't like them being too dimensional, but layers and layers and layers of paper really don't get to be that dimensional. It's just heavy. I don't mind the heaviness though. As long as it doesn't look too heavy, then we're good. Trimming out, whenever I cut my stickers, I left a white border around the edge just because I typically like a white border. And so sometimes I decided to trim it off though. And like here, I trimmed it off and put it on a piece of the pink paper to use as the background. And I'm just adding a bit of journaling here. And this just says the Sharks YMCA League. This was their team, was called the Sharks. And actually, Calen named the team, funny enough. At their first practice, the coach sat there and asked him, what should our name be? And Calen was like, Sharks, because my child is slightly obsessed with sharks. just moving my embellishments around. If you watched my videos, if you've watched any of my past videos, I do this a lot. I don't really generally commit when I first pick a place for my layout to be. Okay, a bit of what I'm doing right now, I'm just backing these photos on a piece of just scrap cardstock that I had sitting around because they were bowing a bit. And I wanted to make sure that they didn't do that. I don't generally commit when I first decide exactly where I want something to go because I want to make sure that I have enough to kind of balance it out around the page without being, too much on one side but not enough embellishments in another cluster. So typically I kind of play around with things a bit before I commit. Just like the fact that I moved that little gray arrow up to the top instead of the bottom cluster because once I put the journaling down there, it was a little bit heavier at the bottom. All right. I'm going to add a little label up here at the top and just a word about these stickers. So I believe, I'm not exactly sure how these stickers are printed, but if you stick something to it and then peel something up from it, be aware that it's going to take the color off of whatever you stuck on top of it. Or when the top thing is taken off, the color will be off the bottom sticker. So just be aware of that. So if you're going to, move things around a lot, you might be better off, either taking the stickiness off the back, not taking the backing sheet off, or stick it to a piece of white cardstock before you, stick it down, or move it around, because like I said, it's going to it pulled all the color off of that black label. Which is fine because I'm going to layer something right back over it. I ended up messing up that sticker though because I pulled it up twice and the pink sticker itself started losing its color. I think it said hope. So I'm going to change it, and I'm using these little Tim Holtz alphas like I've been using for quite some time now, and I'm just going to put my dream. Because Calen loves basketball, and that truly probably is his dream. It's not just something that we get him to do. He begs us to play basketball all the time. And then I'm also going to pull out that wood veneer that says follow your, and I'm going to put the word heart because, if it's something he truly loves, I really do hope that he follows his heart and plays basketball as long as he wants to. We're not going to force him to at all, but if he chooses to, we definitely will let him. And this pale pink label, I'm going to actually back on this teal mint green piece of cardstock that I have left over. It's just one of the pattern papers. I guess it's not cardstock, it's pattern paper. But it's one of the ones that I have left over. And it's just bringing a bit more of this teal over to this side of the page because I already had that hot pink under the basketball court that I had stamped over on this side. So I didn't feel like I needed another shot of hot pink on this side. And I had originally stamped out the little basketball that is going to be like a shooting basketball, but I didn't like the tail that it had. So I'm going to stamp just the basketball onto this label directly. I just ink up that part. I'm going to stamp it right there. Now you guys are probably asking, why didn't you use the green color on here? Because the whole point of this layout is to use masculine colors and masculine, pieces of a kit that is primarily feminine. But I'm really not a big fan of just like the dark green. It's not my thing. I like bright lime green and I love yellow, but the just green, it's not my thing. I don't know why, I just don't like it. So I generally don't scrapbook with it. So it didn't even cross my mind to use it on this layout, honestly, until I just, looked at it. Now I want to add this little star wood veneer because I already have one wood veneer on here. I want to make sure that I have at least a second one. I'm not going to add a third one like I normally would, but I do go ahead and add this second one. Now one thing that I will do at the very end, I'm going to add some of these gold little hexagon, they're not really sequins, but I guess they're little foil hexagons. And that is going to bring a bit of the brown into the layout. They're gold, but it kind of plays off the whole wood veneer brown color. Excuse me. And before I actually lay out my title, I'm just putting it on my block here to see how it fits. And my title is going to be For the Love of Basketball. just adding a bit of extra glue on the corners of my photos to make sure that they are laying down properly. I'm going to use these Tim Holtz stickers yet again. They were the right colors, they were the right size, and they weren't too bold, so it really made it easy. I really enjoyed this kit, guys. I will do a kit review at the end of this week, but really, I have been eyeing the Felicity Jane kits for probably about 6 months now. It takes me a long time to commit to something. I am definitely a person that thinks about something for quite some time before I really commit, especially if it's something that I'm going to spend money on. I'm just kind of careful about how I spend my money, and it's got to be something I really love before I choose to purchase it. And when I was making the decision to do the kit comparisons for my YouTube channel and my blog, I thought it would be really nice to be able to do this, and it was kind of a no-brainer for me. The Felicity Jane kit was totally my first choice because I have been eyeing it for so long. And, you know, so far I've made 4 layouts. This is the 4th one. I think I'm going to be able to get 5 layouts out of it. If I were to purchase it again, and like I said, I'll mention all of this in my kit review, but if I were to purchase it again, I would probably buy the add-on paper. You just get a second sheet of every sheet that you already get in the kit, but I think it was like $4, and I think it'd be worth it to have the extra sheet. Plus, I probably will continue to buy the stamps because they're great quality. They're a great size. From what I have seen, a lot of the stamps have a mixture of small stamps versus larger stamps, and that's something that I can use. I can use them in card making. I can use them on layouts. I can use them in my project life. I can use them in my planner. I can use them in a lot of different places. So those are the types of things that I like. Very versatile supplies that you can continue to use over and over again. And any scraps that I have left of this kit will definitely go to use. They're not just going to get lost in my stash. I use my stash all the time. I'm a person that makes a lot of stash kits because I don't typically buy kits. Well, now I will be because I'll be doing them in the kit comparisons, but I generally use my stash a lot, and I will continue to do that. Just adding the last little bit of stuff. One thing I do want to mention, because you can barely see it here, there is in the top left cluster, there is a pale pink label, and you can kind of see it on the background just because it interrupts the diamond shape. And all it says is New Adventure. And that's kind of what this is. This was his first time on a basketball league, and it really was kind of a new adventure for him. He played basketball a lot just in the gym at the Y with Ernest or with other kids, but it was something else to be on a team. That was not kind of a normal thing for him, so it was a new adventure for him. This pretty much finishes out the layout. Stay tuned. I'm going to do a quick recap of the design focus here.
All right, so here we are with the completed layout. As you can see, let me move these out of the way. As you can see, I have a very masculine layout. Now, it's not overly masculine, but it is a masculine theme. Little boys playing basketball, pretty much. I mean, it doesn't scream pink and teal and pale pink and bright pink. It just doesn't scream those colors. However, I took a seemingly feminine kit, which it wasn't completely feminine to start out with because it was green and a lot more black and white, but as all I have left are mostly florals and bright pinks, I basically used a bunch of feminine supplies to make a layout for my son and his basketball team. Not what you would think of first whenever you see the papers, but I made it work just by adding a few things. So the design topic this time was really just taking what you have, take a feminine kit if that's what you have, add just a few things, and you can really make that kit do something different than what it may have been originally planned out for. So I added this Paper Studios film strip washi. I added these Tim Holtz Ideology tile alphas. Now, I think every layout I've done I've added an alpha just because I like to mix alphas. And then lastly, adding this stamp set, and it's a Hampton Art stamp set, and it's basketball. There's a lot of basketball stamps there. And so I still use the bright pinks. I actually made sure that I included a lot of the bright pinks because it was a good contrast to the background, which is this pale pink kind of diamond-y pattern. I also used some of the teal in a couple of different places. Made sure I had it in each little cluster, and then I used a lot of the black and white elements as well. So I'm very pleased with how this turned out, and I did finally use these little gold confetti pieces. They're not that hard to work with as long as you kind of have them wrangled in a little container, and this pillow box works fine because the static electricity keeps them to the side. So I just use my tweezers and my glue, my Tombow Mono multi-glue, to be able to glue those down. So I'm very pleased with how that turned out. Now, just the same, just to give you an idea, you could take purple and, I don't know, purple and pink papers, add some browns, some neutrals, some craft colors, and you can scrapbook some photos of your boys jumping around in some muddy puddles. I mean, you can do just about anything just by adding a few things. You don't have to have a lot, but just a few small things. I was able to really kind of turn the theme of this kit to something different. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for joining me today, and don't forget about the 10% discount code, which I'll put a picture of that at the end of this video. Let me know if you have any questions, and thanks again. Bye.